all on the camera now, so that's obviously a data breach, isn't it?
In the job centre.
They said they were paying it into my pairs accounts.
No, we don't have to.
Numbers.
You give a number for the IP as well, and you can call them as well, alright?
Talking space.
Yeah.
Pardon?
You're alright.
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
You don't allow recording in this building.
Oh, you've just watched me go around doing it.
I know, because I didn't know what you were doing at first.
Did you not?
I didn't.
The fact that I'm walking around pointing the camera and talking?
No,
No.
No, that's
So it's not because that I filmed them breaking GDPR and that's the issue.
Yeah, no, I don't understand
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you do, but it's just
yeah,
because
yeah.
of the policy. It says on the wall, they're filming the sound.
Yeah.
Which
It's a request at the end of the day. You know, it's a public place. I'm not going down into the office area down there.
I understand.
I'm in the public areas.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Oh yeah. I'm not having a go. Yeah, I'm not raising my voice. You know, I'm just
But we have a policy, you know.
And I get that you have a policy, but your policy's wrong at the end of the day.
And then every week, they're asking to leave.
Yeah.
Because you're recording, they go, you have to leave.
Because I'm recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you realise that in of itself, asking me to leave because I'm recording,
Yeah,
is a
because you have a
violation.
policy, you
Yeah, but
can't
that's a
record.
violation of human rights right there.
I get what you mean, but you can't record. I'm not
I
going to get an
can.
argument about it, but it's just about that you
Yeah.
have to leave now. They're asking you to leave.
Well, when I'm done.
No, you know when you're done, you have to leave now. They're asking you to
When
leave
I'm
now.
done, I'm not going to be much longer.
It
To
doesn't
be
matter.
honest. I mean, I've already got 10 minutes of footage now. It's
I know.
too late, isn't it? You know?
But you still can't record now. You can't take any further than this.
I mean, well, I'm going to, I'm afraid.
No, you can't, mate. That's digital. You can't. Mate, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I heard you.
Yeah, I know, but you
and
just have to leave.
politely, I'm declining. Like I said, I'm carrying on getting the
I
public
know, but you're
information.
going to have to leave now.
I'm not going to have my rights violated by the
I get what
government.
you mean, I get what you mean, but like I said, there's a policy here, and you got to leave, you have to leave. Like I said, but you're going to have to leave. You're stop recording, you have to leave now.
Local food
Yeah, mate,
banks.
you have to leave.
Right away, this is a classic audit environment: public notice boards, leaflets, QR codes, and zero expectation of privacy. These spaces exist specifically for public access, which makes filming here legally significant.
But he hasn't got our permission to record.
That's credit union. You don't have the people's permission to violate their privacy by leaving their information on display, but yet you do it.
Vacancies. So it's a self-service.
Oh wow, that is a big booklet. There's a thick booklet there on job seekers allowance. Look at that. Hefty old booklet. What else has it got under here? Change of circumstance form. Not sure yet until I look at it, to be honest.
Okay. You look a little bit out.
What's this one?
If it's not something that you need, then you don't need to record it. Really, do you?
Statement.
Pardon?
What's this for? Statement for what?
Well, if you ask a member of staff, they'll explain what
Oh, you're not a member of staff?
If you ask a member of staff,
Are you not a member of staff? I thought you were.
Well, I didn't say I was. I didn't
Oh no,
answer, so-
fair enough. You're not then?
Pardon?
You're not a member of staff here?
I'm not a member of DWP staff now.
UG4S here?
I'd refuse to answer that question.
Well, I'm going to refuse to engage with you any further.
Okay? You've been asked to leave though, sir.
What business is that? Is that of yours? If you're just a member, you're just a member of the public.
I didn't say I was a member of the
You didn't say you were security either.
I agree.
And if you are security, you should have a license on display, which you don't.
Okay, I
So-
didn't say I was.
Exactly. So it's none of your business, and like I said, I'm not going to engage with you.
To me and you'll take it.
I'm not going to engage with you any further.
Please come down and you can explain to them.
Have you called the police?
You're on the way.
What, for what?
You don't want to engage with me, then you don't need to. You're on the way. anyway.
Fine. That's fine. I'll wait for them then. JSA while you were sick. Well, they are. They're out for public to come and look at, aren't they?
This bill you're taking out of the drawer.
It's not in a drawer, is it? Information about where you live and the people you live with. Budgeting loans from the social fund. So for some reason they've called the police. Just be aware, if you are security and the police come, you don't have your licence on display. That's a criminal offence. I know, I'm just saying if you are. Just saying if you are.
Like I said, but again, the DWP doesn't allow you to record. I understand, but the DWP doesn't allow you to record his premises. You will have to leave now.
But again, the DWP are wrong, I'm afraid.
How are they wrong? I'm not going to get into a debate. I'm not going to get into a debate about
you ask
this.
how they're wrong, and that's fine. I'm happy to explain. I'm happy to be civil about it. All right, but this is a public place, and we have freedom of expression in a public place.
But that's the thing, but the DWP hasn't given you any permission.
You don't need permission to exercise a right.
Especially in the side, you do need permission.
Don't.
It is-
His camera is on, yeah.
But like I said, the DWP doesn't allow you to record his premises. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you, you're going to have to leave.
Again, you've asked me that, and politely, I'm going to respect you. Like, he said, he's just told me you've called the police. I don't want the police to come and then have to look for me all around Birmingham, so I'm going to wait for the police. You know, so I can deal with the situation. You've wasted their time by calling them. I told you I'm not going to be much longer. I just wanted to finish getting the information, and I'm on my way.
Yeah, but
you've
there's
called
no, the recording is not from behind
But
that.
you've called,
Like
you've called the police, so I'm going to have to wait for them. I don't want to flee the scene for them to think, oh, he's fled the scene, I need to go look for him. I'm going to wait for him because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay, but I'm still going to tell you again.
Yeah.
As you know, the DWP don't allow you to record on this site.
I appreciate that.
They do not allow you to record on this site no matter what.
Well,
So you'll have to stop recording. And
even
you'll
though
have to leave the premises.
even though I've recorded evidence of them breaking the law, and there's more evidence of them breaking the law
Like I
down
said,
there.
We've got signs of you saying that.
Yeah.
That you can't record them.
Because they don't want us recording them breaking the law, mate. That's why.
No one's breaking. I'm
They
not going to get into an
are.
argument.
They
I'm
are
not going to
breaking
get
the
into
law.
about this. We're not going to go into an argument.
Data protection.
And this is the key issue. If personal or sensitive information is visible from a public area, that's not a filming problem, that's a data protection failure. GDPR doesn't protect negligence.
I'm just going to ask you again. You're going to have to leave the premises.
I appreciate you asking me that, but again, as I said, respectfully, I'm going to wait for the police to turn up.
Okay, that's fine. We go back to the
Yeah.
police. That's fine. We'll go to the police. Right. Like I said, but end of the day, you're gonna have to leave. Simple as you spoke like it. We don't allow you to record in this building. If we have a sign saying we can't record, we can't record. Simple as that. Without any permission. Without any permission. If you have permission, different story. If you haven't got any permission,
But you can. There's a memo from the DWP
put
to.
you on our site.
Will you let me finish? I'll let you talk, okay? There is a memo from the DWP, gone straight to their staff, that says generally DWP does not allow recording on their premises. But members of the public do not need permission to record in a public place, okay? This area, not the office space down there, but this area where you've got all the signage for the public to come and have a look at, it's a public place. The same way that Tesco, Asda, it's a public place. It's private property, but it's a public place, okay? You don't need permission because we have Article 10 of our human rights, which is freedom of expression. That's the right to gather and disseminate information, okay? We have the right to hold our government accountable, like I did with that lady who left that personal, private information on display. Claimants sign in information when they come. That shouldn't have been left out for me to see. So I've recorded that. I let her know that it was there. That's when the issue arises, because they know that I've caught them doing something wrong. That's the only issue, is that they don't want us recording and them not looking after people's data. And they know that's the issue. That's why they've put this policy in place. But it's rubbish.
Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. I'm not going to engage with it.
It won't hold up in court.
But like I said, you will have to leave. You will have to stop recording.
I mean, I'm not going to stop recording. And I said, I'll wait for the police, you know. If you hadn't called the police, I would have been finished filming this board, and that would have been pretty much all I can see in the public, and I would have gone. But you called the police, so I've got to wait for them.
Yeah, you're right now. But like I said, you will have to leave the premises.
When the police get here and it's all been dealt with,
I've engaged with you about it. I'm not going to get into an argument.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm
And,
not
you know,
gonna-
you're being respectful, I get that.
I'm being
And I'm being
respectful.
respectful as well, I think. You know,
Yeah.
we're disagreeing and we're
Yeah.
allowed to disagree, we're humans,
Okay.
it happens.
Mm.
But nobody's being rude, nobody's being aggressive, are they?
No.
You know, it's just a civil disagreement.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, because you've called the police, I will have to wait for them.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
and
But
that's
like I
it.
said, you will have to stop recording though.
I can't stop recording.
Why can't you stop recording?
Because I was down at Selly Oaks earlier and the G4S security were very, very aggressive. And you seem okay so far, but I don't trust that if I stop recording, I won't be assaulted like I was down there. You know, I was like, you're being respectful and I get that, but you can never be too careful. Same reason why you've got your camera on, you know, it's for your protection, accountability, and that's what it is for me at this point.
Okay.
You know, so unfortunately, you know.
Gentlemen, so in the policy, if you want to record anything, you first have to get permission from DWP staff if you can record something.
You don't need permission in a public place, so that's what I was just explaining. This is a public place, and you don't need to ask permission in a public place. You know, I understand you have your policies from DWP, you have your instructions. I'm saying those instructions are wrong, you know, fundamentally, you know, and ultimately, again, if I came in and I was going straight up to claimants on the computers and getting in their face, I could understand the issue there, I really could. But obviously I've come in, I've been peaceful, respectful, I'm just filming the information that's available to the public. I'm not causing anybody any harm, I'm not doing anything, you know, aggressive, hurtful, I'm not harassing anybody. If anything, I'm being harassed right now, you know. I'm just chilling.
Well, then they're doing a job, so like I said,
A lot of people have said that throughout history, mate. You go back just over 100 years, a lot of people would say, I'm just doing my job.
which is what we are. Okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with Barry.
Yeah, but it's just doing your job, and then there's having a brain and thinking, well, he's not doing anybody any harm, he's just filming information on the walls, so
We're just following the
let him
policy
be.
that we've been given, which is DWP. You can't record on this.
We can all follow instructions, it doesn't mean it's right to do so.
That's your
You have,
opinion.
you have the
That's your
right to
opinion.
challenge things that
I'm
are
not going to get
wrong.
involved. That's your opinion. But like I said, I will have to say to you again, you can't be recording on this site. And like I said, I know you said the police are here, but you will have to leave.
Yeah, but, yeah,
You will have to leave. now.
Seriously, it's prohibited. No filming inside, so
I disagree.
if you can kindly leave, sir.
I disagree. I said I won't.
Notice the shift here. The conversation moves from "what are you doing" to "you must leave." That's what happens when internal policy is confused with actual law, and they are not the same thing.
I'm waiting for the police at this
You're just
point.
wasting your time, mate. That's all.
Well, you've wasted the police's time, so I'm waiting for them.
Enjoy the summer out there, mate. Look, the weather's nice.
I've been enjoying that already.
Hold on. We don't have the. This is not needed for the police. I mean, you seem to be very respectable, cordial. Okay.
Yeah.
We treating the same. Okay.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, I
We have a
agree.
little bit of problems. Okay. So all we're asking you, okay, stop the recording. If in future that you need something to record, feel free to come and ask permission.
But I understand what you're saying. I do, and I agree. Nobody, you know, you're being respectful and cordial, and I like to think I am. But you know, the point is the point of having a freedom and a right is that you don't need to ask permission to exercise your freedom. You don't need permission to do it. We're in a public place. Okay, you don't need to. If I want to film walking down the street, I don't need to call up the local police or the local council and be like, by the way, can I record down the street? Because it's a public place.
You are right.
And
You
this
are
is
right.
also a public place, my
You are
friend.
right. I mean, but in this workplace, we have certain guidelines that we all have to follow. Okay. For example, I mean, I cannot come to your house. I mean, and film your house.
But that's different. That's a domicile. People live there. Nobody's living here.
Yeah.
This isn't a domicile. Yeah, this is a government building, and we have the right to see where our money's being spent, see how our government is acting, and see how, especially in job centres. I go to job centres a lot, to be honest with you, and data protection is a very big issue in job centres. Job centres are not very good at looking after people's private data. You know, so like that lady left the clipboard out over there, computer screens down there, which are all visible from a public place. It's not good, okay? And we have the right to come and look at it and record that for evidence, to document it, to say this is how our government are treating our data.
I don't think that it is right for you and me to come and take pictures of.
Of course it is. You trust the government to you trust the government to do it themselves, and they're not going to.
So
Otherwise,
we
they
take
would
pictures,
already.
So we take pictures so we see how the government money is being spent.
That, and like I said, looking around, seeing, you know, data breach, you know, just it's not good. You know, it's about accountability of our government.
What's your name, may I ask?
Pardon?
What's your name, may I ask?
My name, I don't give out my name, sorry. I haven't asked yours and I'm not interested, you know, and I'm not going to give mine either. You know,
Okay, my friend, we're not going to call the police.
you're not going to call the
We're
police.
not going to call the
We're not
police.
Oh, I
gonna
thought you
call
already
the police.
have.
If you
No,
leave
no.
peacefully and you stop
If you
recording,
just
you leave,
kindly just
the
leave.
police won't be called at all.
Well, I still need to finish my recording, and then once I'm finished, I will be gone. That's fine.
So what are you recording?
Everything from a public place. Like I said, you know, there's data breaches happening down there. I need that for evidence.
You cannot go down there and flip anything.
I'm not going down there. I will stand in a public place, and I
But it's
will.
not allowed.
But you
It's
can't
not allowed
record.
for you to do
That's
it.
what we're telling you.
But you can. It's evidence. If the police come in here and they turn their cameras on, are you going to tell them they can't record?
But that's a different story. Police is a different story.
Well, no, it's not.
It is.
The same law, the same right that gives them the power to record is the same right that gives me to record.
Okay, that's
it,
fine.
it is the
You
exact
are
same
correct,
right.
yeah.
So if they're allowed to record
Yeah.
in here, if you allow them to come in with their body cameras on to record for evidence, if you call them, they come here to see me, and they turn their camera on to record me if anything happens. Yeah, for evidence. There's evidence down there that I need to gather because they are breaking the law. Okay. It's the same right that gives the police, that gives you to be recording right now. The same right that gives you to record right now is the same right that gives me to record.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
straight.
The thing is, at the end of the day, mate, no public is allowed to record around this premises, and that's the rule. So we all comply with it. So we just want you to comply with the rule. Yeah? That's all.
I know that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want everybody to comply to your rules, but your rules are wrong fundamentally. Your rules are infringing on somebody's rights,
Yeah, but the thing
and
is
that's
that
wrong.
The rule is that that's the rule. So,
No.
but if you're not going to comply with it, I just want to kindly ask you to leave. That's all. It is.
If you had a sign up on the door and said everybody coming into the building has to show their driver's license, that would be unlawful because it would be infringing on the right to privacy. Same with your sign saying no recording. It's infringing on my right to freedom of expression. It's not lawful. Nightclubs can get away with it because they're a licensed activity and they need to check age.
Okay.
Here, you wouldn't get away.
This argument comes up constantly. You need permission. But rights don't work like favors. Freedom of expression under Article 10 doesn't switch off just because a building has a logo on it.
Because there's no reason. And there's no reason to say that you can't record here.
There are many reasons.
Like such as what?
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to debate.
Because
about
there are none. No
There is,
legitimate
but I'm not
reasons.
going to get into it. I'm not going to get any more further in debating about this.
Okay.
But like I said, you will have to leave.
When I'm done, I will leave. And that's not a problem.
Not when you're done recording. You're going to have to leave. Kindly, I'm asking you kindly as well.
I know you are,
I'm
and
being
I
nice.
respect that. And I respect that. I do. But
But
you
I'm
know,
asking you kindly.
but,
At
but
least appreciate that. And
but again,
kindly leave.
the problem is, if I leave here now,
Yeah.
nothing is going to get done about those data breaches. Nothing.
How do you know that?
Because nobody seems interested.
Okay.
You know,
That's your
the
opinion.
managers
Okay,
got
that's
not
fine.
not
That's
seem
your opinion.
interested. Nobody said sorry, we'll get that sorted. Not one single person.
Okay, that's your opinion. That's your
Yeah.
choice. That's what you think.
It is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I need to record it for evidence because I need to report it as a crime.
Okay, that's fine.
It gets reported to the
Okay, but like I
information.
said, you will have to stop recording.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
I
You
can't.
will have to stop recording.
I can't.
Well,
afraid.
yeah.
Can you turn all your cameras off while I'm in here? Why?
But you're recording whatever that. Listen, like I said to you before, there'll be no debate discussion about this. Like I said, DWP doesn't allow you to record without any permission. They don't allow you to record without any permission. If you had no permission, different story. But
Again, don't need.
there's no permission.
No
So
permission is
we
no
will have to
permission
ask you to
is
stop
no
recording and
permission.
kindly leave.
No permission is needed.
There is permission needed.
It's not.
Okay. What are you ready about this one?
You said you're not leaving?
No.
Once I finish doing what I'm doing, as I was explaining to him, I need to get some evidence. I need to collect some evidence
Evidence on the way.
from stood on the wooden floor there. I need to collect some evidence. I'm not going down to the carpet area. On the wooden floor, I need to collect some evidence.
Speak with Madam Anna, speak with Madam Anna if you can.
I don't need to ask permission.
You stay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't need to record, man.
So that's what I'm saying. Those screens down there. Fine, I can do it from here. The screen's down there, all on view. Imagine what those people sat on those sofas can see, if that's what I can see from here. So if a manager is willing to speak to me about the data breaches, so I can be happy that they've taken that information on board and they're going to deal with it, then I will be happy.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, what did they say?
If anybody wants to speak with you,
Mm-hmm.
camera has to be switched off
Right.
and helmet has to be removed.
Okay. I need the camera to be rolling because, again, it's evidence that I've reported it. You know, I need that evidence that it's been reported, because then if I come back on another day and the issues have not been fixed, I need that evidence to say I reported it this time, this date, and this is the evidence that it's been reported and nothing has been done about it. Okay? And I can't report it to you because you're not DWP, you're G4S. It's not your issue. So I need to report it to a member of DWP. And the camera has to be rolling for evidence. You know, I'm not asking you to turn your cameras off. That's fine. You know, we're in a public place. You're allowed to record me. That's fine. You know, but if anything happens now, and your camera's not on, there's no evidence. Well, maybe the ones on the ceiling, but these pick up sound as well. There's no evidence without that. You know, that anything actually happened. It's all about evidence, accountability.
That comparison is spot on. Cameras aren't about provocation, they're about accountability. Staff wear them, police wear them, so why does public oversight suddenly become unacceptable?
I've just been over to Woodworth, is it? Woodworth Heath? Something like that. About 10 minutes down the road, there's another job centre. They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. You know, they did ask me to stop recording and we had a bit of discussion, but they said, yeah, fine, whatever, carry on. Then when I raised with them, you know, I said, is a manager available to talk about these GDPR data breaches? Manager came, very respectful, took it all on board, gave me an email address so I can put it in writing, you know, and that's how it should be. You know, I'm not doing anybody any harm, I'm not being, you know, I'm not causing anybody any aggravation, so there's no issue. And that's how it should be. I just heard you say the police are coming, mate, so I'm going to have to wait for them. I just heard him say it to you.
There's no police coming.
No?
There's no police coming at all, mate. Just
Quite one.
strictly no recording in the building, mate. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
You're not the first customer. We've talked to loads of customers.
yeah. And every
the only
time,
request is, mate,
and
just
every time you've been wrong,
yeah.
you know.
If you stop recording, then fine. Staff will speak to you, but you know, if you got any concerns, you can speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, because if you continue recording, they're not going to speak to you. If you stop recording, then manager will speak to you and we'll try to resolve something. But if you're not going to, then you know, the result is we're just going to finally ask you to leave. That's all we
But there needs to be evidence of the reporting. Do you understand that?
If there's a concern, they should listen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But there needs to
got
be evidence.
concerns, they will speak to you.
There needs to be evidence that I've raised that concern with them. There needs to be that evidence.
Don't interact with that. Don't interact. No problem, man. No matter interact with. These are from the other things. I'll turn my camera off, yeah. I'll turn my camera off now. We can have a proper chat. What's the need of recording? I don't get it. Go and tell me.
Honestly, man, it's standing up for people's rights.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I get it what you mean. I know, understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I know, but I'm following rules.
I know, I get that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And I know it's a public place. You can record. I'm not gonna say you can't record, you can. But for me, please come here. They'll say the same thing to us. He's in a public area, he can't record.
Exactly.
Which I understand. But if you want to speak to them, the manager, and ask whatever questions you have, they won't talk to you without a camera. They want you to have the camera.
But it's funny because the one down at Woodsworth did. Woodworth, what
Every
Woodsworth?
place is different. That's what I'm saying. Every place is different.
yeah.
Every place has their own rules and regulations. We have a different rule.
No, the DWP have across the board.
Mm.
You know, their policies are across the board.
Yeah.
And I get it. They put the signs up, and I get it. You know, but because what they're worried about is they don't want me
But
recording.
all the camera models.
What they want is they don't want me recording data breaches because that's what I always get told. You can't record because of GDPR. You know, you can't record this private information.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I shouldn't be able to see it from the public area. I shouldn't be able to see it. That's the data breach. The recording is the evidence. The seeing it is the data breach. You know, and I said me recording it is evidence that it's happening. Which then, if I need to, I can send that to the Information Commissioner's office, who are the people that enforce the laws on data. But it's all over the place, man. Everywhere, every job centre. Well, 99.9% of job centres. I have been to a few good ones where they're actually really good with the layout, screens turning away, things like that. Some of them are amazing, but we're stood down there on that wooden bit, rows of computer screens. If somebody's having an appointment, all of their information's up on that screen.
But on that screen, we don't keep your information up.
But they do when they're having an appointment. I know because I used to have to.
I know.
Yeah.
But when the other people around, no one's there. They don't put it up. They don't have nothing up there.
Yeah, but there are people having appointments there.
Yeah, I know. People are having appointments.
And while they're having an appointment, all their information is up on the screen.
Okay.
But
where do we go from here? That's the thing. By doing this, what are we achieving?
I need to know that look, you seem like a reasonable person. You do. Like you said, your camera's off now. You can have more of a chat because they're not listening. And, But like I said, when I first came in, you were stood there. You watched me come in, and I'm filming